Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another fun-filled video for you. And today I want to present a new knife maker named Clyde Challenor. You guys probably saw my YouTube channel. I did something called Knife Shark Bite, basically, which is a little section on my channel where I will be showing you the knife that I'll be introducing or doing a new video on. It will only be for new knives that get added to my collection. I'll just be doing that every once in a while. I've got another one coming in about a week, so I'm not going to tell you what that is, but I will be doing another quick Shark Bite preview of that knife as well. So let's go ahead and get into this one. This is a knife made by a knife maker named Clyde Challenor. He has been making custom knives, both frame locks and liner locks. His expertise is basically learning how to meld CNC machining with handmade skills to come up with an amazing product. That's what we're going to be seeing today. He basically, the story with this guy is he had been making knives for a number of years, probably about 3 or 4 years. And then roughly right around 2018, he kind of disappeared for a while. He had bought some new CNC machines, and he had a couple of partners with him who were cutting the parts not in another shop and then sending them to him, but then apparently there were some problems with the production, so he kind of scrapped that and then brought all the machines over to his shop, where he had partnered up with another guy to help him make the knives. So now he's part of a two-man team, where the guy cuts the parts out basically, and then the knife parts get handed over to Clyde Challenor to finish off and come up with the actual product. So CNC machining and handmade skills goes into the knife that we're going to be seeing here today. So basically he had problems once he got the machines to his shop. Apparently he realized he had time. He had to figure out some time to work with the machines, to learn the code, to operate the machines, get used to them. And now he's gone through that whole process. He's now back, and he now has currently in production this knife here. This is the Clyde Challenor Viper frame lock knife. Just want to give you guys a good quick look at it. We're going to talk about this knife in detail. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. So what we have here is a full Damascus blade with a hollow grind. You can't really see it because the Damascus blade kind of covers all that up, but it's a beautiful Damascus steel blade. A full-size knife with 3.5 inches, and while we're at that, let's go ahead and get to the specs. I'm just going to go ahead and shout them out to you so you can get an idea of what they are. You'll just give me a second. So basically, we have a 3.5-inch blade length. The cutting length for this knife is 3.4 inches. The total length of the knife is 8 inches overall. We've got a blade height at the heel of 0.95. Blade thickness near the bolster is 0.95 at the heel. Near the bolster, it's 0.14 inch. Blade thickness is 0.1 inch, and as you get down to the tip of the blade, we are currently looking at 0.5 inches overall. We have a shipment weight of 5.8 ounces, so there you have that. And the knife ships. He's got one of the most beautiful packaging I've ever seen. There's his emblem. Clyde Challenor Customs with a sword running through it. How cool is that? It's also on his knife. If I could hold that up to the light. There you go. You can see that there. Right up at the top. Clyde Challenor knives. What we have here is fat red carbon fiber inlay, not only on the show side of the knife, but how about the back side as well? Something you don't see. Now, this is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece that he's made for me. I really cannot say that he made this for me. I'm guessing, okay, to all you YouTube peeps, I am guessing that this was originally the way that Clyde Challenor wanted to do his inlays for all of his customers. Unfortunately, he began to realize this wasn't economically possible, and it was quite time-consuming. His words were, it wasn't so much a pain in the ass as it was time-consuming, and to do that in any kind of mass quantity. When we mean mass quantity, obviously all of his knives were made by hand, so we're talking maybe 20 to maybe 25 knives at the most. With this kind of an inlay would take too long. So he decided to just 86 this idea, and he had already finished this one. So he put a 0.1 on underneath the clip and made this one-of-a-kind handmade one-off. Not for me, I just happened to be the first one standing in line to get it. And you have no idea how happy I am to get this one. His inlays will change. Give me a second here. I will show you what his new inlays are going to look like, and then I will get to a video of how the man does his pivots, because that's ridiculous. So if you take a look at this picture here on my iPad, you will see the new inlays that he's going to be making for the Viper. Let me close this so you guys can take a look. It's going to have more of a coffin shape to it. And I've got some news for all you guys. I'm getting a second Viper. That one's going to be an M390 blade, and it's going to have this coffin shape on it, not what I have here in my hand. So this is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece, and this is what I'll be getting. Mine will be in fat blue carbon fiber, and yes, the inlay will be on both sides of the knife as well. I'm not quite sure how he's going to do the back side of that. And like, I don't know how he's going to do that coffin look on the back side there, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's go ahead and take a look at a little closer at this knife. Actually, let's go ahead and do the size comparisons, get that out of the way, and I'm going to talk about the knife more in detail. Why don't we go ahead and start with one of my favorites, and this one has been re-released by KnifeJoy. I have no comment on the new re-release of that knife by KnifeJoy. It's in blue with M390, but if you guys are in the market for getting a Spyderco Swish Bowie, you may want to check that out. So here it is up against the Spyderco Swish Bowie. Check that out over there at KnifeJoy. As you can see, the Clyde Challenor knife is almost the same size, but it's actually a touch larger than the... actually, that's not even right. It's actually down like that. Yeah, it's actually a little bit larger knife than the Spyderco... there you go. Spyderco Swish Bowie at 3.4-inch blade. Here it is up against the familiar 00562 knife. Keeping an eye on the clock. I don't want this video to run too long. So, there it is up against the ZT 0562. How about the Kershaw... One of my favorites, Kershaw bare knuckle knife. So the bare knuckle is a little bit bigger than the Clyde Challenor knife. So, but again, fairly close. And also put it up against the Benchmade Anthem Integral. So this is 3.5, so is that. So you guys can see they're exactly the same size. It's a good thing I did that. What else am I got? Oh, how about this one? How about the Benchmade? I can't remember the name of this one. Let's go ahead, if you guys can remember it, maybe you can put it up against this one. Here, my mind is a complete blank. I do apologize for that. Last knife. How about the last knife? The Zero Tolerance 0900. So as you can see, the Clyde Challenor Viper is a full-size knife. And this knife has undergone a metamorphosis. I'm going to go and show you how much of a metamorphosis it had been through. Give me a second. I want to show you the old version of the knife. See if we can go ahead and do that. 1 second. So if you take a look at this picture here, one minute, if I could just get that going. All right, I got it. Here we go. So if you take a look at this knife here, this is the old version of the Viper. Okay, so as you can see, it's gone through a metamorphosis. We've got a flat pivot on this one, and this flat pivot is quite a wonder. We're going to talk about that in a quick second here. But the old version of his knife had this sort of cross pivot on it. Basically, the concept behind this was the Clyde Challenor was, you know, he's a firm believer in allowing knife collectors to have access to the knife. They want to take the knife apart. He wants to give you that ability. So he made it where you wouldn't need any special tools to take apart his knife. Basically, you just take a screwdriver, unscrew it, and you're good to go. The problem with this pivot was people kept probably using the wrong screwdriver, messing up the pivot. The beautiful decor cross would get all messed up in the process, and he'd have to try and fix it. So he came up with this sort of flat pivotless look. Now, this is sort of a mystery. When I first saw this pivot, I was like, I don't know how the hell he did that. But I have some video here for you to show you how he made that pivot. Hopefully I can get to that a lot faster. I'm hoping I will. If I don't, my apologies. So just give me a quick minute here. Here we go. If you take a look at this video here, let me just start this video over again. Here we are. Here's how he makes that flat pivot. Check it out. So you see it's actually two separate. It's like a cylinder piece, and then there's the actual pivot going in. And if you look at the knife, it's kind of a special cutout recessed in there. And the pivot goes all the way in. He pushes it all the way in, nice and flat. Now, it doesn't look as cool as it does on my knife because he's going to have to polish that, hand rub that down and make it a flat piece like it is here. You guys can take a look. I mean, that is flawless. What's unique about this pivot is not only is it hand rub, but even if I didn't have my gloves on, I wear gloves because my hands are really dry, crack, and peeling. So if I were to run my finger across, I cannot feel the pivot at all. Between the pivot and that titanium, I don't feel it at all. Same thing over here, I don't feel it at all. There's no feeling. Can't even tell. Everything on this knife is executed so tight that there's no, everything on here is tight. It's well polished. In fact, let's get into that also. Take a look at even the screws pop, the little teeny tiny screws. They're like really polishy and pretty and just gorgeous. They pop even on the back side of the knife. There's one right there and one over there for the inlay. Everything is just absolutely beautiful on this knife. Everything matches up, including those slashes where the cut goes. Don't kid yourself. That is hard-ass work to make it look like that. And you have to understand, he is a man who likes to meld CNC machining and handmade skills into one knife, giving you a great product. The ergos on this knife are absolutely spectacular. What you're getting with this knife, not only is it a solid knife, but you're getting a full-size knife in a slim package without losing any, like, heft, where you have enough to grip the knife, enough to feel on the knife. I mean, this knife is slim, but it's got heft to it. Trust me. Trust me. He has got the smoothness on this knife tuned in so perfectly. It is an easy front flipper flip with the thumb, even just lightly holding it. If I can get my hand to do that. There you go. Real, that's how smooth. Usually you don't get front flippers where it's that easy to pop open. He's actually made it that way. This knife does run on ball bearings. Not ceramic, but steel ball bearings. And he has got the smoothness tuned in so well. It's important to know that it runs on ball bearings because those people out there that have the older version of this knife, theirs run on washers. Now, it's important to understand that Clyde Challenor has been working with ball bearings for years. I believe he puts it on his handmade MK2 models, ball bearings. But this knife, and I believe the Raptor, were all on washers, and they were fairly smooth. Just absolutely fantastic. It's got a nice titanium pocket clip on it. Not deep carry, but a very pretty looking pocket clip. It's got really good spring to it too. Really nice spring to it. I'm not a pocket clip user myself, but it does have good spring to it. Another fascinating thing about the knife is his jimping is another thing that stands out. See if I can do that in the light here. Yeah, if you see his jimping, it's kind of like wide down here, and then as it goes up, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. That's just really nice. It also makes very comfortable jimping for front flipping, if you're a front flipper person. If you're not a front flipper person, Clyde Challenor, I'm sure, will be making other models that are not front flippers, so don't worry about it. One of the beautiful things I love about this knife also is the construction of it. Totally open construction. So open, we only have the pivot, one standoff, nothing in the middle, and then, of course, the stop pin. I mean, that's it. That is it. And also, like I said, he loves to have people take apart his knives. He doesn't have a problem with it. All you got to do is unscrew that part of the standoff there and unscrew the pivot over here, and you have got your knife taken apart in seconds. No other knife is easier to take apart. This is easier to take apart, guys, than a Chris Reeve knife, okay? Easier to take apart than a Chris Reeve. Now, if you're thinking is one standoff enough for, like, safety, what if the knife breaks? There's no way this knife is going to break, okay? Look at how thick that titanium is. It is a thick titanium piece. There's no way that's going to break off. Like I said, it conforms to your hand beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. Whether you have, I'm assuming whether you have large hands or small hands. Now, I have small hands, but, I mean, I don't think someone with large hands would have a problem holding this. It conforms so well to your hand. It's got a beautiful Damascus blade with a hollow grind. There you go. You can see the hollow grind a little bit. It's not super hollow, but it's hollow grind enough. It comes down to a thin edge. It's absolutely exquisite work by Clyde Challenor, reimagining his Viper. So that was the reason why he changed the pivots. He didn't want to have people to have problems with his pivots, but he also wanted to make it less cumbersome for himself as a knife maker. And creating this pivot made it a win-win situation for everybody. You can still take the knife apart, and it wouldn't be that much trouble for Clyde Challenor as it was for his previous model. So, just an overall gorgeous knife. He's got the, I think I showed that to you already, the maker's mark that was on the package is also on his knife. And I believe you can see that there. There it is. Not that great. Hold on, I'm going to get a better look at the light. And there you go. There you have it. It's right there at the tip, right by my thumb. Sorry if I can't get better lighting, but there it is. It's kind of clear as day. Again, you know, I mean, I love the slashes on here and how they actually match up with that frame lock side. Table price for this knife, starting price is $7.50. Mine came out to $10.50. And again, I got lucky. This is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece. I wish I could say that I had Clyde Challenor make this specifically for me, but, you know, I think he was in the middle of deciding whether or not the knife would be in production this way or to go with the coffin version that I just showed you. Want to bring that in a little bit closer. There you go. I mean, this knife is just smooth all the way around. Not only smooth as an action, but just well made overall. Like I said, he partnered up with one other guy who does all the CNC machining. The knife itself, the knife design, is actually designed by Francois Nell, so it is a collaborative piece. But to be quite honest with you, the making of this knife has Clyde Challenor's maker's mark all over it. His hands are literally the final word on when this knife gets released. Is his responsibility from start to finish overall, and the knife will not leave his factory unless it is perfect. And I am telling you guys, when you get a knife from Clyde Challenor, you're gonna get perfection, period. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. The lockup on this knife is not that. It's not like 50%. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe like 30% maybe. He does have a lock bar insert to prevent stick, so that's kind of nice. And believe me, it is a joy to open and close this knife. Just to separate the, I love the way, that's what I also wanted to express too. Just to separate the frame lock from the underside of the knife. It's a pleasure. It sounds weird, but it's actually a pleasurable experience. It's not hard. It's actually very smooth feeling. I mean, because some knives, you know, when you open them, it's like, you know, his is just really super smooth, and I don't think it has anything really to do with the fact that he's got an insert lock bar. I'm sure that helps, but, and the reason I say that is because I've never felt the disengaging of a frame lock to feel this way. So I like that also. Let's give you guys another quick look at it. Hoping I didn't miss anything on this knife. I don't think I did. So this is perfection and simplicity in a tool. And you also get beautiful, gorgeous artwork. Even if you were to get a plain one, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you get this thing in your hands. Like I said, it is incredibly smooth. It's got it tuned in. So look how that drops shut. I'm barely even, look at, it's insane. Just an overall beautiful, beautiful knife. For a man whose philosophy is CNC machining and handmade skills together in one knife. That's basically what the guy lives on. And that's the way the man makes his knives. So there you have it. Omar the Knife Shark Guy showcasing for you the newly reimagined Clyde Challenor Viper. Pick one of these up for yourself. You will not be disappointed. This is just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous knife. This is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off. Saying thank you so much for watching. And you guys have a fantastic evening. And I will see you here again next week. Because I got another shark bite for you on a new knife that I got. I'm not going to say what it is. It is a knife that's been around for a while. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for watching Clyde Challenor Customs in South Africa. Omar, the Knife Shark Guy. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a good evening.